Brooke, have you ever heard the word grottage before?
Never. Is that a garage cottage?
There's a reason we call summer in London the season.
No, you'll never be me. You might be pretty, but this is my city.
Maybe.
There used to be a grotto
But-
there, and now it's going to be a cottage.
Martha says that her grottage will soon be a cottage. So apparently there is like levels of it. So don't be
These
confused,
ladies are-
everybody. You did tune in to Ladies of London. Emily is on a walkabout, probably doing something fun and exciting that we're too poor to do. And pinch hitting for them is a Brooke and Jeff. Y'all know Jeff. And we talk about Brooke enough where everybody will know Brooke. Brooke, say hello. Introduce yourself a little bit.
Hi, I am Brooke. I am Sunday's bud and Jeff's wife and a consumer of all things pop culture related and very much enjoyed my first foray into Ladies of London.
Yeah, we got lots to talk about. Jeff, what about you?
I am Jeff. I'm on the resident culinary hospitality industry expert.
Mhm.
We'll get into that, I'm sure, a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And I think you're going to have either lots of questions or you're just going to be telling us about these ladies. Let's see.
Well, I am hoping for us to have a discourse. I am brand new to the Ladies of London franchise too. So I am still kind of like feeling my legs with like how to receive it. Before I get into it though, I got to do business. By the time you hear this, right after the show debuts on Easter, you should run and look at our mini episode in which we drew for our new cook challenge, which right up my alley, wine and tomatoes.
I listened
Never
to
heard
it
of
today.
more-
It was adorable.
Yeah,
Highly
never heard
recommend.
more of a Sundi thing to do. And Vintage VPR will post tomorrow, and we have one on Tuesday mornings, and we have Top Chef, and included in the mini episode is the first Last Chance Kitchen, which I got to do that for the first time. So that was pretty fun. And we talked all about it on Wednesday, and we had some fun recommendations based on our experience with the show. So lots of content this week. Next week is big things too happening. We've got some interviews. We've got some like format surprises. It's going to be a big day. Big day.
Brooke, you know what they don't have on this show though?
What?
Puppets. The shows we have don't
my
have
God.
puppets.
It's true.
This one,
Big fan. Those puppets are nuts. Just about as nuts as every other aspect of this show. What's going on?
Leave to the frickin' American to be out here teaching manners to the English with neon puppets.
Mighty
Micah,
manners, no less.
just
Come
got it.
on.
I mean, really quickly, I'm just going to run down what's kind of happened so far in the previously on. Lottie, who you may not have noticed, but she's pregnant. You only know that because she tells you, and she walks around with her hands on her very flat belly. And her husband, V for Vendetta. Emma is real busy going here and there. Micah has puppets. Hecate hates Margot, which, by the way, so does Kimi at this point. There's a lot of bad mouthing between the two of them. And Martha is in the middle between the two of them. And so we pick up in Micah's office. There's been a lot of talk between Emily and I about Micah's ponytail and kind of like what's happening behind the curtain there. Emily has an assertion that maybe she is fighting a natural texture. And so that's why she keeps it so tight and high.
That's the Scandinavian pony or something like that?
It's for poor folks. It's the poor folks facelift, but I can't remember what region they called it from. But her husband travels, and so she's left for all this time to do puppets. And she is hoping that like she is going to translate this manners career on all these platforms into this like giant industry. And what do you make of an American heading to jolly old England trying to teach these folks manners?
It feels so on brand for an American to be that assumptive about their time in England that they just want to roll in there and let's teach everybody a thing or two.
Yeah. Anytime you can get Americans spreading their eating habits amongst the world, that should definitely happen.
She looks so deranged, and I took a picture of it. I mean, she's just like all mouth and teeth. Oh, here we go. I mean, it's obviously not the most flattering thing in the world.
That's it.
But it screams manners to me.
Yes, and she's just her level of excitement is off-putting. She also is the kind that brings a gift everywhere. Like
Oh, I've
every
heard you
single
guys talk about.
every single wear. Okay. So we start out with that and listen, I love for a lady to succeed. I wish her the best, but
Obs.
we'll see. And then, so Ladies of London does this kind of interesting format where they kind of jump around and they'll play with like fast forward and flashback. And they did this too. So
Okay.
they flash forward to this like preview of something that's about to happen. They showed us a fight between Kimi and Margot at the My Fair Lady, but then they go back again, which I don't know.
Yeah, they had like a week from now and then 5 days before. It's normal. I mean, that's usually how it goes.
I mean, not necessarily in that particular order, but they definitely play around with time and they definitely play around with what we see first back and forth, because lots of times we're like, wait a minute, this already happened. They do that quite a bit. But when we land in Martha's garage, this is what we were talking about up top. This woman, I love her so much, and her style is exactly who I would want to dress like of there. Like, Brooke, whose style
Agreed.
do you connect with? And don't say this.
100% Kimi.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely Kimi. Like, if I had the money and the nuts, I would be Kimi. And like nuts in the she's a lunatic sense and also the ballsy sense. Like 100% I would be rocking some Kimi. I mean, all of it. I would go full makeup. I'd probably go even harder than she does. But it would take a lot of time.
Kimi's
and a lot of
outfit
tutorials for me.
Yeah, are so loud that they like enter the room. You can hear her come in before you ever see her. They're just all like yellows and pinks and bright. So she's got a real like bright. But Margot has this like Katharine Hepburn kind of sensibility that I just love so much. And, you know, she's had a real hard life. I don't know if you've watched any, but I've
listened to you guys.
I love her so much.
There is
a good-hearted.
She has this bird.
Yes, I saw.
Well,
Hecate.
So, yeah, which, you know, I have a Hecate tattoo, so I feel a little, it's my little key, that's Hecate. On a scale of 0 to 10, how likely are you to ever go visit fucking Martha and that goddamn bird?
Probably 0. That bird seems threatening. I'm with Margot. It's Margot, right? That was there in the... Yeah, like, this bird wants to kill her. This bird wants nobody... It's that bird and Martha. That bird who she thinks is the reincarnate of her mother.
That's correct.
Well, we can unpack that in a minute.
Right.
Yeah. I want to go. I want to go. I mean, this could be the whole... Martha and the bird can be the show. The Martha renovation project is all aboard that train for sure.
When I was listening to you and Emily talk about this show, I 1000% thought Kimi was the one who was like trying to rebuild from the ground up. I would have never thought it was Martha who had it this hard way to go. But she has this like midlife breakfast at Tiffany's quality to her, like like you said, a Hepburn, but I'm thinking more Audrey. Like she's just giving it her best shot. She's still got a lot of whimsy left for her mid-40s, and she's just very much like hard scrabble, but classy. Hard scrabble, but make it classy.
I mean, hard scrabble, like, I mean, maybe, but she... well, I think that there has been some sort of subtext about her and Margot when they were traveling around with like a group of older men. Like they were in Ibiza for a while and they were in Scotland, and they weren't footing the tab for that, I don't think.
Right.
So I
Those
think
weren't
that
official modeling trips. Those were just...
Are they both models? I did not know that.
Trips.
Well, yes, as a matter of fact. Yes, I was going to say, like, Lala from Vanderpump Rules is like Martha 20 years ago.
Oh, boy.
Like legit. Yeah. But Martha has like this really kind of sort of innocence to her, but like kind of like a dumb naivete. Like she's handing her keys to painters that she sees in the park. And it's like, here's 300 pounds and the keys to my apartment. See you later. Like, come on. That's so dumb. But I am not going to go to anybody's house that I have to wear protective gear to be safe from their pets.
Especially from a bird.
Jeff,
it's one thing
Mm-mm.
It's one thing if it's your dog and the dog's like a little too much, or the cat likes to jump on your lap. This is a bird, which I'm not familiar with. I don't want it anywhere near my face or shoulders or neck. No thanks.
No,
Help me out.
when I
No.
even heard you were going to be covering a show with a lady that had a bird on it, like even that far removed, I was cracking up in the car, like I'm like, Sunday and a bird, not going to happen. No.
I have such feelings about birds, and I just like I feel so unsteady. But so this is where they announced the My Fair Lady theme, and I don't think anybody necessarily understands the theme because like the producers quiz them a little bit, and there was like, who do you think would be the Eliza Doolittle? And like only Kimi could answer, but they all show up looking crazy, not even on theme. I'm gonna get to that in a minute, but then we have to meet. This is where the conversation that you started with me yesterday about the male trees and the pollen.
Oh, yeah. Well, how random
Yeah.
is that we both came up with it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Y'all,
it was
it's
meant
so
to
weird.
be.
I was at Brooke's house yesterday doing our food challenge. Delicious crab and liver mush sandwich. Little plug there. But we were talking about being sick because at this time of the year, that's all anybody ever talks about is just our allergies. And she was like, well, city planners planted all of these male trees. And I was like, have you already watched Ladies of London? And it was just a sheer coincidence that she has given me the same botany lesson that Margot is on Ladies of London.
We're clearly big readers, Margot and I. We go deep into the Science Monthly. I think it was like something I saw a clip of on Instagram, but still.
Yeah. I may be in the same algorithm.
Possibly.
Well, Margot's an American actress too, so that's about all.
Oh, I heard.
I probably wouldn't even have to tell you. Probably wouldn't have to tell you. She's really not beating the allegations of being a fucking drama queen.
No.
But so Misse shows up to meet her and her stepsons at a picnic, 15 and 13.
Pumped. These kids are excited.
Yeah, they are. They don't even know where to put their eyes. Speaking of her sternum being out, the wind is blowing, her tits flying out. And I was like, listen, I am never one to be like, we need to police our own bodies to make men comfortable. But these children don't even know what to do. They're just like, where do I put my eyes? It's
cartoonish, and I never like to have commentary on anybody's body choices, especially something that like aesthetically they chose for themselves and are leaning into. But like it was a slight bit comical for such a gorgeous woman to have made this choice. She is obviously stunning. Could have gone with like a little bit less of maybe 80s comedy boobs. I'm just saying, just for me.
Yeah.
And I know that that's not something I should say in public these days. Is that right?
Well, first off, the rule is if they did it to themselves, we can talk about it. Right?
So
that's the rule.
Official.
Those kids had boners the minute she walked down the damn bridge. They were like, yeah. Come and get it. But in true reality Bravo style, there's this whole story about somebody. And much as I want to do, Jeff, I made a chart just like I do on Vanderpump Rules. So here's the beef that they're talking about. It's very low key. Somebody that we don't know told Mark Francis, the guy,
right,
who then told Kimi, who then told Misse, who then told Margot. And it was something very innocuous, like, oh, yeah, she's just really out here acting like an actress. Okay, so she brings a bazooka to this fight. She's like, yeah, well, he's a social climate fucker and his parents disowned him.
Yeah.
The disclosure of those two secrets are so disproportionate. Like, you are an actress. We know that. You just outed this whole man's family position. Rude.
Yeah.
And so it's like Kimi being buddies with him, the one that got, because they're all upset with Kimi, right? So is that what stemmed?
Well, they are upset with Kimi because in a
She's
luncheon
a boss bitch.
Yes, of course. In a luncheon that they had at a winery, instead of having a jovial time, they decided to turn it into a trauma dump. So it starts out like this. Yeah, ha ha, my dad's from Haiti and this is Kimi, did this and, my mom had to go this. Then it's like, my brother was gunned down in the street. And then it was, my father was sick with cancer and I had to reconcile it. And then my sister was, and Kimi just did not enjoy the vibe. So on the way home in the Sprinter van, she's like, God, it is what it is. Are we all just going to sit around and trauma dump? Like, don't tell your sob stories. And these women are like, they're literal sob stories. Like they are. And so everybody is sort of clocking Kimi as being very callous and very standoffish and insensitive. And you know what? I don't want to hear about your dead brother over wine either.
No.
Sorry.
No, not
Sorry.
for a television show, not for anything, but it should go without saying that in this Sprinter van with Kimi saying that obviously that was going to immediately get back to anybody else who was not in earshot of it. I mean, like that's classic reality television show. I mean, like that is immediately going to be used against you.
And I also think the women who have the most money, like Emma and Kimi and probably Mark Francis, I think they underestimated the interpersonal dynamics of it. So Margot she's clocked into what a reality housewife has to do, right?
Yeah.
She knows it's her job to go back and repeat. Kimi, in her mind, I think, is just thinking, I'm just going to be funny. I'm going to get laughs and I'm going to like mug for the camera. I don't realize. And so lo and behold, now Kimi's in the middle of this and she just doesn't give a shit. She's like, I mean, sorry, I hurt your feelings. Who gives a shit? Lighten up.
Yeah.
And
it led to us having an accidental casting. Like we landed on Parker Posey playing Joan Crawford and it would come into that. It's Kimi.
But also throw in an element of the other mother from Coraline because she has a real other mother vibe. She's my favorite too, but
I love her. She does have button fries. And her face is like, I mean, adorably comic bookish in the other mother sort of way where it's like everything about her seems totally normal except for she's on the dark side. She's on
I'd also leave it to the English slang to take the phrase a bag holder for Emma to be like the greatest insult ever. Like, he's just a bag holder for Emma. And like, pearl clutch, what? He holds her bags?
And does that mean, yeah, please tell me what it is actually. Like what I think it is?
Just like, it's like a hanger-on. It's like a wannabe person social climber who doesn't have any real status of their own. So he's just standing there holding her purse while she goes about the social, and he's kind of riding her coattails. I guess is the American way to say it. Like riding her coattails. Yes, and that way. Which Mark Francis has been on many, many reality TV shows, none of which I've watched. Made in Chelsea is on my list to get to, but he's been on several, so he knows the game.
Yeah. He seemed like it. He really owned that party when he came in, not on theme, just dressed how he felt like dressing, but definitely giving safari, and just rolled up in there like he's ready to start shit, but also he's better than everybody in there. It doesn't, no matter.
Is it this
like the man in the big yellow hat?
Basically that. I know. Yeah. Oh, it was such a sick burn.
Yeah.
Also, the man in the big yellow hat is French, and you know the English don't like the French. I think that's a real thing.
But first off, I didn't know that the man in the big yellow hat was French. So,
Curious George. Yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, we've talked about it in some of my, folklore studies classes. Doesn't shake out real well, but so the big story there is Emma is running a marathon, but in Nairobi, Zimbabwe, somewhere very far away.
Nairobi.
Yeah, somewhere very far away. Which she's got like for real money. She is or claims to be the first aristocracy or royalty of color. Even before Meghan Markle, she was before that. She's the first Black woman to be a royal, and so they own this like Longleat, which is this very, very swanky estate. It's like a real Downton Abbey kind of shit. So they have animals.
Oh, I live for that kind of stuff. I wish we had more of her because she seemed like the most sane. She was stunning to look at. She seemed like she wasn't going to just flip glasses in your face and her boob wasn't going to fall out while she's just sitting at tea time. It was like, I feel like this lady's holding it together, but she was in two scenes.
The worst one? Yeah. Well, also, too, I think that she, much like I was saying, somebody in our other cast, I think that she has a much more curated persona because I think she has a lot more at stake. I think her existence on this show is much more higher stakes than, say, like Margot, because she does have some kind of like royal connection. She's a Marchioness, which is her husband's a marquis.
Sure. Right.
But and I drank on Micah for doing gifts, but that was a very thoughtful gift to get a video compilation of all of them wishing her good luck. Now, that was very thoughtful. And a little basket with all this marathon signs. Like, okay, Micah, fine. She's just like a bunny. You can't be mean to a bunny.
That's right. She got her manners out there for everybody to see. You see? She's a walking advertisement for her manners programs.
Mini manners.
Mini manners.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, are all those people usually on the show? Because there was a bunch of people we didn't see.
No.
Oh, okay.
There's like a core group, but there were some satellite folks, and they must have had some scheduling conflicts this week because there was a lot of like little mini stories going around. But the main one I wanted to talk to you guys about is Martha's pet communicator, because don't think I do not have my name on a wait list from one of my TikTok pet communicators.
Of course you do.
I am dying.
Is this for Patty Hearst? Oh,
No,
Goldie.
well,
okay.
I would like to know what happened to Goldie before she got to me. That's really what I would want to. And also, too, does she hate how many cats we have? Is she bored? Do we? How can we make her life better?
So yeah, you want to translate like this one does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think ours would also say she owns us, possibly.
Yeah, I think Poppy would be like, I own you.
Well,
Brooke.
what would you ask of Poppy? What questions would you ask Poppy if you knew that she could communicate through this medium?
I would like to ask Pop, like, what we could do to get her to sleep in a little bit, or what's a trip she would really love to go on with us? What's her favorite meal that I make for her for dinner? Would it be like chicken, or is she more of a seafood kind of gal?
What?
I need to remind people,
why
this is their dog.
on the ground?
Yeah, this is their dog they're talking about. So just a reminder, as Brooke talks about what meal is Poppy's favorite, remember, this is the dog. Would you ask her if she likes to go on so many walks?
I know she likes to go on so many walks, but I do think she's getting tired. Like, as she's approaching 3 years old, and I actually do think that, like, she's wearing out of the long walks. I think I gotta go. She got short little legs, so I gotta shorten the walks. She's, with age comes wisdom, and she's like, I can't do it until I'm just burnt out every day.
I would also ask Goldie who is her favorite. I think that's an important thing to know around my house.
That's a fire starter situation here. I don't want Poppy to pick this one, and then I'm like, what? And I do for you, Pop.
So you wouldn't be expecting
Goldie
the big news like she gets here.
Well, no, Goldie would 100% pick Carla, because Carla lets everything happen and lets her sleep on top of her, and I'm just the heavy. But Margot calls her a pet psychic, much like Jeff did before we started, and that is rude. That is like calling a landscape architect the yard guy. A pet communicator has a very special set of skills, and a pet psychic is different. So rude, Margot.
That's my bad. That's on me.
This lady is very practiced in pet communicating. I felt like she was legit as fuck, as all get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I want this to happen. I don't know if I could justify the money it would take to get one as famous as I want. I don't think Carla would allow it.
No.
But I want us to flash back to earlier, whenever Martha was talking about how Hecate might be her mother reincarnated, and how Hecate talks about, I own Martha, and that they're related. And so, like, on behalf of all magpies, she needs to talk about, like, she's always hungry and playful. Like, that is really interesting that Martha thinks that this is her mother, and this, like, bird has such a control over her life, and she's so worried about what she thinks. I feel like that gives us a real insight into old Martha Rue.
I agree, and I don't know enough about Martha's history, even though I do listen to you and Emily talk about this, but, like, I don't think we've dove into her, like, personal history with her mother or anything. But that's a wild thing, especially considering that she's, like, rebuilding her life. So for that to be something that comes about, and also that I own you, and her having that kind of obvious relationship to being in a garage and a little broke and a little this, that, and the other to like equate some bird to owning you in any kind of capacity is like that. Either that pet communicator is on her shit and that magpie can really communicate. I have an interesting thing about magpies. You know this, right? About them being like, they're basically pigeons.
Yes. But
so,
like the elegant
pigeons
first cousin of a pigeon.
Yeah. Well, when we were out west and I have buddies who live out there. And so I texted, I was like, there's these beautiful black birds. They're shiny and da-da-da-da-da. And our friend was like, yeah, they're basically like the rats of Montana. So be aware that like they're just everywhere. I know.
Like
I was really offended by
rat
it
of the
too.
ocean.
Exactly. Even those seagulls, elegant as fuck. And we all know it. Much like Martha herself. Elegant, and not a rat of any kind, but maybe trying to crawl out of whatever situation she's in. And I bet Pet Communicator, even though I'm sure she is legit, walked into there and was like, this is a rebuilding chapter. We're talking mother issues. We're talking she's being owned by something.
And magpies also retrieve things. They like gather and like little treats. And so Martha in previous episodes has found little like stacks of things. Like she has little spoons that Hecate will like go. Also, Bear is mentioning too, Martha's mother incarnate is named after the Hecate, which is the goddess of witchcraft and power and crossroads and oftentimes wrath and anger. So there's something there. We need to talk more about that, Martha.
Well, you know, the mother-daughter dynamics that we so often see portrayed in movies and stuff where, like, the mom's always very competitive. And, like, obviously Martha's a very attractive, very likable, amiable woman. And so I wonder if there was... I know, she really does seem like it. This, obviously, edit it out if it's not to this conversation. But which one... Because I remember you saying, style-wise... Martha for sure, but who did Emily say she identified with? I'm trying to remember.
Kimmy.
It was Kimmy. See,
it was Kimmy.
Emily could do Kimmy way better than I could do Kimmy. I just mean like I would be like the poor man's version of Kimmy. I would just roll up in there with my colorful outfit and be like, "Is this enough?"
Well, what I really like about Kimmy, though, is she sort of, like, refuses to have all these, like, really tight things and these things that are, like, really fitted, and she just walks around in these, like, flowy things, and she's like, fuck, and she's a very petite woman, not like the other
looks
mother,
like
but
yeah.
But she is just unafraid to have a billowy sleeve or a, like a mid-shin hem. And she dresses for the theme with that hat and the little nets. She looks so good. You know who doesn't? Stupid fucking Margot with your dumb cowboy boots. Girl, you're not beating the allegations of being a melodrama queen. I can't. Margot's my least favorite. And Margot is the kind of woman that if we're at a party and the conversation is not about her or to her, involving her, she'll like do something to get the attention. Like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. And then I'll have to talk about her. Like, that's how Margot is. And that is just, I have a feeling that in the scenes from next week when Mark is talking about she should go back to wherever because England's not a good fit for her, I imagine, see, if the pet communicator could tell me what Goldie's fussing about. I imagine that's what he's talking about. Because she's just a ridiculous person. I don't believe that she's all that well liked, except by Martha.
But I love that Martha does like her. Seems generous.
Yeah, she's very generous. And so they're talking. So Lottie and V for Vendetta have had a 4D scan. And this woman talks about her baby's penis more than anybody I have ever seen in my life.
It was so uncomfortable. It jumped out at me as it was so bizarre. And I love, because all we saw, I've not watched the episodes. I've only listened to you and Emily, and I saw what happened previously on. And the baby scan bit and talking about the penis and it all seemed so just like, it was hard to tell if they were excited, especially when she was like, I just want to look down at this bracelet and be like, that's what I pushed out of my body. And I was like, yeah, or the child that you pushed out of your body could be that too. But like, you do you, sis. Whatevs.
when they found out it was a boy, she said something about having a little willy in her.
Yeah.
That's not how you say you're carrying a baby boy.
I know.
You two talk about it on the show. Like, even though I haven't actually seen them talk about it on the show, just hearing y'all talk about it stuck with me. Like, even just a couple days ago, it was in my head. Like, I have a little willy inside of me. Like, nope, that's not what we're saying.
That's what I was trying to remember. First off, what does V for Vendetta do for a living? He's some sort of designer.
Fashion show photographer.
Yeah.
I've got. Is that right?
Okay.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Yes. And like, but like stylist too. There's like because or a designer, right? Because she's wearing those Manolo by Joshua shoes later in the party.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
like he does something. He's like a kind of a big deal, but his little dumb mustache. But what is so incongruous about these two people right here is they constantly maintain about how traditional they are.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And it's almost weird, especially with her saying the weird things about the picture with the willy and the sonogram and how normal and how it's like it's a generational that just doesn't translate to an American 45-year-old woman, or are they not traditional at all? And they just are so far out of reach, and like their stratosphere is so different than the one I inhabit that I'm just like, that's what normal couples do. This seems very weird.
I don't think so. But this one in one of our bits where we talked about like shit that rich people can do that's really weird, that if poor people did, it'd be really tacky. Being this fucking weird. Like being this just super strange. If they were poor, they would be completely ostracized.
Absolutely.
But these two androgynous fuckers here are so concerned about the gender and the sex of their baby. And they're talking about how if it's a boy, it's this. If it's a girl, it's this. Like, look in the mirror, sir. Like, it is just so strange how obsessed they are. And then she's like talking about, she's like a work widow. Like, oh, I never see him. It's so hard to be alone. Okay. You know what? You talked about hiring a night nurse. Like, it's just she's a weirdo. And I can't decide if she's like the good kind of weirdo or the bad kind of weirdo yet. Because that husband is a choice.
It would have to be TBD for me as well. Like, I couldn't tell if she was kind of like you were saying, a good witch or a bad witch. But I thought there is something going on, especially with the like getting things out of the boxes. Like you were saying, like she was just so overwrought. But I totally understand because I am very close to my partner. Like, I would miss Jeff if he were gone all the time. And I've never been pregnant, but if I were, and like, we'll just put Poppy in instead. Like, when I got to take care of her by myself for a long bit of time, I'm like, where is Jeff and my partner in this? So I get it. I see both sides of it.
We also don't dress like the green mushy peas. That's the British version of black-eyed peas, which is what they're dressed as, I believe.
Hey, he's got jokes. He waited. It's been 34 minutes now. He's waited to drop that little nugget for you.
More for him.
Also, I would like y'all continue to establish that you are just like higher beings than me. Like, you're generally just sweeter and nicer all around because, you know, just saying, bears mentioning to both y'all's faces.
Her bringing up how she doesn't get her daddy confused with somebody also just is that's worth mentioning also because they have the same name.
Yes. And it's so weird too. Like a couple of episodes ago where they had the gender reveal, she was like, look, are you talking to her dad? Aren't you so excited to have a grandchild? He's like, I have 4 already, woman. Like, what are you doing? She's just a space cadet. And it's coming from a person who presents as a real space cadet too. I can't tell if it's charming or annoying.
That is exactly the feeling I got. Like exactly what I meant. Like, I can't tell if I'm charmed by her or if she's absolutely exhausting.
So the party, this is where Martha talks about, or somebody says that Martha would have been Eliza Doolittle, and then she was like, ha ha ha, because I was homeless. So I guess she did have some hard knocks going around. Yeah. And
an Audrey Hepburn character. Not originally, of course, but
to make the Hepburn
famously an Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah, Misse coming out here on a wig and a prayer with her titties out, just nipples just free around, a hard wind, just blowing them around. Like, just go do OnlyFans already, for fuck's sake. Like, what are you doing?
You have gobs of money. I imagine your wardrobe is everything you want it to be. Do you want your titties just right out there in front of God and everybody at a My Fair Lady party, no
Yes.
less?
Yes. And
What
her
she's
wardrobe
signaling
is
to us
everything
that
she wants it to be, except in place.
yeah, I like the 80s Euro trash vibe of it, and then it was just slap it on somewhere, not necessarily where the clothes go, but somewhere. Who cares if they go
Yeah.
together or fasten in any way?
Not
I
a
liked the dress
bra
as
in sight.
before I realized the wardrobe malfunction that it would become. I really liked the dress, but you should have heard when she was walking up, Jeff was like, "What is that? What's going on? What's wrong with that
It's
dress?"
it's if My Fair Lady meets Toga party, because I don't know what event Misse was going to.
I thought it was. I thought it was like a V-shaped tank top with just loose cabana pants or whatever those are called. That's what I
Yep.
thought was going on at first. I didn't.
I thought it was the pregnant lady, and that was like a not a pregnancy dress, but I thought that bow was like, oh, look, I'm preggers, like, oh, cutesy little bow. No, this was just a vehicle for her boobs to be exposed, and I thought that's a wild choice.
Bravo tried to say, Missy, go put a top on, right? It was like, you can't just walk around here naked. Because I bet that was going to be her, brand. She was just going to walk around there like, ma'am, please go put something on.
This is a different part of Europe.
You want to see a boob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not the Europe for that. This is England, ma'am.
Yeah.
We're not walking.
Kimi is such a vibe, though.
I know.
I am so here for it. And Mark, I really like him too, but there is a put uponness to him that kind of doesn't let me be comfy around him, because the accent is so put upon, darling, and it's so. And I get it; it's posh and it's rich, but he's never relaxed enough for me to kind of just get to know him, and so I don't know.
But I think that is him. It does not feel like a put on situation. It feels very much like he has been that way for many years. I don't know if he grew up that way or if his 20s were transitional and all of a sudden he was like, I've just decided to just lean into my posh bougie side and fuck a bunch of normal acting folks. I buy it with him. It's no question in my mind that is who he is. If I run into him at a coffee shop or if I watch this 2 seasons, I will recognize Mark. Whether he has cameras around him or he is in the park celebrating the man in the orange hat. He's just sitting there being him, embodying it. He will be that bougie prick. Excuse my language. But it gave Downton Abbey to me, which I happen to love. But that idea of just this is just who I am. And if you don't like it, fuck you anyway, because this is just me. And I like it. And he's snide and he's cruel, but in that cruel way where you have to decipher how cruel he was trying to be. You interpret for yourself how cruel I was being or how snide I was being to you. It's not even for me to say. It just rolls off my tongue.
I want to talk
it's sick
a little
burns.
bit about the fight in a minute too, because Jeff and I have just been up to our eyeballs in Vanderpump Rules, where there's absolutely no impulse control. There is no mitigating of the id. And so these people, how they are saying things in a tone, because Mark even says, it's so common to be nice. Who wants to be nice? And the way that they are talking to each other doesn't sound like they're fighting, but they're saying really awful things. And it's just such a weird transition from when we see people fight in I keep saying Vampire Diaries. Vanderpump Rules. I've done it for the last week or so.
I love it.
Speaking of of the Vanderpump of it all, I think Margot's got some real Natalie McGuire energy.
Yes.
Also, I kept thinking of her. Once that landed, it just kept going.
That is a good one for sure.
The way they talk, the way their faces they make, all kinds of stuff. Very, very much Natalie McGuire energy from her. Or if you said that was Natalie in 20 years, I'd buy it.
But it sticks out so much among these people who are just so buttoned up that Margot's righteous American indignation feelings just comes off as just so overly put on. And that is really good when you're comparing it to how Margot's these kind of sniper compliment or insults where Margot is just being really American about it. It's just, I don't know. It's just the posh put down is what they are doing. That's what Margot calls it, the posh put down.
I love posh put down. It makes so much sense as an avid, and I think Emily has said this too. I love an Anglophile, as they say. Like, I love British anachronisms and things. Like, I love manners, comedies. I love Downton. Like, I love English dramas. I love all of those things so much that, like, I love the subtlety of it. And it's wild to see it in a British format, because I've never watched any of the British reality shows either. Like, not even Love Island, none of it. So,
Oh, wow.
I know. But I think that Love Island now is more of like or the British version of it is more of like an American reality show feeling or like vibe. And so this idea to me that there is like buttoned up, posh put downs, My Fair Lady parties that aren't elaborate, because, you know, like gender reveal parties and stuff on the reality television shows I watch are more than my wedding costs. Like, it's absurd.
Yeah.
But this idea that, like, yeah, we're going to go to the park and we're going to have like tea and crumpets and just fucking chill out and enjoy each other's company and pick fights. Like that, there's something to me about that that just jumps off the page as British. And I enjoy it a lot.
And Margot's attention-seeking behavior is just it stands out so much. But
It really does.
I think we should work in calling people cows. I think that should be something that we do. Because,
I'm going to try
in
it.
the South,
I'll try it.
well, we have a version of it. It's like heifer. Like, oh, this heifer over here is trying to do this. We have that.
You're right. I guess I don't work that in enough for it to like register, but yes, we should do. I'm gonna 86 heifer, bring in cow.
I'll remember y'all said that and throw it out to you sometime.
Oh, you better not. I don't think it's gonna
Work it
land the
in,
way
Jeff.
you want it to. Yeah.
I'll be like,
Well,
inviting Mark Francis to a food party, and he don't like that.
Yeah. Stars are born, not made, y'all. Just
That's
remember
right.
that before you get in. So there's all this back and forth. It's not even really worth like getting into the nitty gritty of it, because everything's going to be fine at the end. Like, these folks are not going to hold some grudge. They're going to fly a girl in from Miami to have her show up at the bar to say, you fucked me. So everybody's kind of being rude, but like in a way that's not outright rude. But then they say some really nasty things. Like, somebody says that Margot is a con, and then Margot says that Kimi talks like the dude on the Monopoly board.
Oh, yeah.
Because
she says her accent is put on because she's American, sort of.
Like, Missy seems to stay out of it. She just starts laughing. She gets her, like, it's the most, like, adult person I've seen, like, get their tickle box turned over, as people used to say, like, about kids. Like, and she just keeps going. Like, once she, oh no. And once she starts going, she just, like, can't stop and finds things just hilarious. It's a great, like, break in the action to just, like, here's her tripping out with herself. Like, very refreshing, for sure.
I'm going to get Kimmy's back on the accent that goes a little in and out. And I'm saying this as a person who has lived in the Midwest and now the South. And like, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, which people assume like Brittany on Vanderpump has a thick accent.
Y'all's Kentucky muffin.
That's right. Like, when I'm out and about here, like talking to strangers at somewhere, Walmart or, wherever I interact with somebody else who has an accent, my accent comes on way more Southern than it ever does to like you or Jeff. But if I'm out and about and so I think Kimi is just doing as is natural when you've lived in a place for a long time, is like you just blend that accent just blends into things. Like, she has lived in London for a long time. I understand it, or I take it. So I think that it seems normal.
Backstory. Her dad is Haitian and her mom is not. I think her mom is kind of absent. And so I think she was born in Haiti, and she spent her young years in Miami or South Florida. Then they moved to Haiti for like 17 years, like the majority of her formative growing up years. And then she moved back to America to live for a little while. And then from America, to England. And I think you can hear some of the Frenchness in there a little
Yeah.
bit. But her mom completely abandoned her. She was like, no thanks. They had such a terrible divorce. Her parents such a terrible divorce. It was like, I can't even look at you. I'm going to look at you to see your dad. So peace
Oh
out.
my
And just
gosh.
left her. That really informs kind of like her coldness, I think, and like the way that she can't just, but that she is the other mother because she just has a real barrier. And I swear, if Emma says keep calm and carry on one
Oh
more
my
time,
gosh.
I cannot. Like,
I watched one episode and I was like, we can't with this nonsense. No.
Is the Mark Francis and Kimi, are they like always the team? Like, they seem like an obvious team and they just like kind of get on no matter what. Like, they seem like, whatever else everybody else is doing. And then the two of us are solid.
And this is what sort of like muddies the issues about Mark Francis about what his sexual preferences are. Because I believe that Kimi has says that a long time ago, her and Mark Francis were in a relationship. Because I immediately understood him to be like a gay man. But then me and Emily couldn't decide, is he gay or is he just British? And he was so scandalized by the penis at the naked painting party. I don't know. I can't make any assumptions about somebody's sexuality, but it was just really surprising when she dropped that little bit of nugget. But they have been friends so long, too, that's kind of a distant memory. But like, yeah, with a woman.
It gives, to me, I feel like he dabbles in whatever pond he feels the urge to dabble in.
That's exactly
Maybe.
His playing pool is wherever he feels like it.
Whatever's working out.
His paddling pool. I forgot. They said paddling pool.
Yeah, whatever's working out best for him at the time, I think, is where he's going.
I mean, he doesn't even have a kitchen in his house because it's like Versailles, for sure. But speaking of paddling pool, Martha said that she just should have got a paddling pool filled up with KY and had Margot and Kimi just go at it. Fun fact, I had to do that for a sorority initiation week.
How'd it go? How'd it go
naked,
for
though.
you? Oh, no.
Well, we just had a little whisper, like, like it was like a pro wrestling situation where we're like, okay, listen, we're going to just like do this and we'll do this and this. We weren't actually wrestling. We just wanted to like put on a good show and then we just like threw it.
But was it believed? Were you like,
I don't know. We had to do it, check of the box. Like I wasn't trying to be out here like, Hulk Hogan trying to do it. And also, I don't know if it was KY. It may have just been like baby oil, but it was just so disgusting. Like the textual feel of it, everything.
Yeah.
And my hair was greasy for weeks. I couldn't get it out of my hair. But yeah, a little bit of hazing happening back then. Kids, ask your parents.
Yes.
What I should have opened the show with was, yes, I'm a psychotic bitch, but that doesn't make me a bad person. That is what I should have opened the show with.
That can still be your like Instagram bio, though. That can work on lots of levels.
But these women are fucking drunk as hell. I'm talking like are slurring and weaving, crying. Kimi cries for the first time in 17 years. Nobody's seen a tear out of this woman, and now she's in the park just crying.
That was
Missy's boobs out again.
That was my very first, when you gave the prompt of things that poor people do that rich people get away with. I was like, day drunk in a park with your tits hanging out, you're swerving, you can't hardly. I was like, you know who can't get away with that? Me. But you know who's doing A-okay?
Yes, screaming profanities at each other.
These cows are out here doing all right.
Look at Brooke using the vocabulary first
somebody
time.
Else.
Yeah. I mean, like
the Missy Titty Committee, they're going to protect them.
Yeah. I mean, it's out again, so like it's apparently, but like these British fights are so weird because it's like watching ice melt. Because the way they're talking to each other is just so nicely performed. And it's just so strange. I mean, I love this show so much because it seems so foreign to me. It is just like really, really a distance. The way they speak to each other and sort of the formalities of their whole relationship, and they had a party a couple of days ago where there was no booze in it, and I was like, what? No.
While
'Cause a
watching
couple of them
it,
were
I
sober.
was like, I wonder if Sundi, like, I wonder if this scratches the itch, because it's very much like watching a reality version of Absolutely Fabulous or something, where it's just like
Yeah.
the characters are present enough where you're like, oh, I know what her story is. Like, she's going to be the, floozy or whatever. But it
Yeah.
doesn't get to where we're watching The Valley, for instance. I know spoilers,
Yeah.
but
It does. It's like it's a different kind of bucket because it's obviously Housewives of London. That's what it
Yeah.
is. But nobody's flipping tables, and nobody is there. The SWAT team is not arresting them in a Sprinter van on the way
yeah.
to a destination. I really like it. I mean, I am 100% going to watch the Housewives of Rhode Island. That's probably what I'm going to go do when we click off. And because I'm really interested, because Bravo is they gave us 6 of these. And so now they're going to give us like however many of Rhode Island. So I'm wondering how these 2 new sets of women are going to kind of coexist in the Bravo sphere right now, which Bravo is having a really busy week between the Summer House stuff and the Southern Charm stuff. So I'm going to I'm gonna pay my respects to him a little bit. Okay, so give me your favorites and least favorites.
Do you just mean general? Because I've listened to you and Emily do it, but I don't remember there being like a favorites and least favorites. Are we talking about characters, or do we mean like situations?
Like castmates, like people that you like.
Okay.
Like somebody you'd want to have lunch with. Who would you want to have lunch with?
Kimi, absolutely. Designer V for Vendetta husband. What's your story? What I need to know him. I want to know him. I don't know why.
No.
I feel drawn to him, not in a sexual way, not even in a like. I might even
He's
hide
just
that
smooth
friendship.
down there. He's just smooth down there. But look,
Yeah.
he would 100% make you pay for lunch if you went to lunch with that.
Oh,
man.
absolutely. Oh, he's a dirtbag. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's like some indie rock kid that I would have hung out with in the early 2000s in Chicago, where I'm just like, ugh, I guess I'll go to lunch with Brandon again. Brandon, who now goes by B-Dog or whatever. Oh, I've got to go see B-Dog because he can only be free on Tuesdays.
You reminded me, there's like the Claypool Lennon delirium, which is Julian Lennon and Les Claypool playing together, and he looks like them smashed up against each other, like with the glasses and hair and the Britishness of it. I was like, this is the Claypool Lennon delirium as one walking around person.
That is a very eclectic deep cut, but I do happen to know what you're saying, and you are 100% right about that, though. I do, though. So, Jeff, who was your favorite, and why was it Missy's boobs?
Honestly, I like Misse more than Missy's boobs. So, like, her just finding something that amused her and had a ball with it. I mean, I said it a couple times, like, super fun. Amongst a group, though, one-on-one with her might be a lot. Kimmy is going to be
Might be
my
awkward.
pick for sure. And I would totally go hang out with Martha and the Bird.
Oh.
I'm down. And so she's moving in. That's what all those boxes are. Like, that's not I've been here for. Okay.
No, she got divorced, and her husband, who was also some kind of royalty, or he was like a duke or something, I don't know, but left her. The only thing that he left her was her title, which she even says like a title doesn't pay the bills. Yeah. So she's really had to start over from scratch. So,
but yeah, I'd say those 3 are my favorite. I mean, really, I could care less about hanging out with either one of the dudes. Mark seems like
Mark
a lot.
Would hurt my feelings.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he would hurt my.
He's
feelings,
way more clever than I am. So like, I feel like I would just leave feeling. What do they say in Bridget Jones? A jellyfish. Like, you didn't know that you were being. Like, had no idea how he was stinging you, and then you leave and you're like, oh my god, I think he
ow,
yeah. Ooh.
No, at first, like, I want to hang out with him at the party because I know he knows where to score the good stuff later on, but also he's going to tell everyone at the next party that you went and scored that shit with him when you didn't want anybody to know. So it's a double-edged sword with him, I think. Just a little insight.
I think...
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Martha, too. We couldn't have lunch at her house. I do not want a bird with warm feet. Like, that is a detail I did not need to know. Black. Gross.
Yeah, it liked Margot. Cute.
And so I have my list of next time, but I did it on shorthand, so I'm not really sure what I mean. Martha wants to ride. Okay. Margot is upset, but remember, she's an actress.
Mhm.
Margot and Kimi make up sorta, and she's better suited in LA. Burn. So
Yeah.
that was what I have for next. So come back next Thursday to hear. Emily will be back next, but you guys were excellent substitutes.
Thank
for
you.
her.
We love to sub in whenever we can.
Yes, I
Emily,
will
miss
see
you.
both of you very soon, and go find us on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We've got some big announcements. Me and Jeff are doing some program planning today. So we have some big fun things coming up. So y'all stay tuned.
Thank you all. Bye, Emily.